Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew Steele, and I'm someone I always like to be creative with ways to raise epilepsy awareness. Um, and what you'll see me share here is a creative way I'm fundraising, and I wanted to share this video before I uh, jump into sharing my birthday Facebook fundraiser. I found out through the Epilepsy Foundation of America that they accept the donations through Facebook as part of your fundraising activities. Um, so I want to show some incentives that I have. I've created a list of incentives this year to try to be creative. Want to do everything I can. I'm the one of the three speakers at the National Walk to End Epilepsy this year, so I'm very excited about that. Anyways, I'm going to start with the paintings at the highest level, and then we'll work our way down to the what would be the third highest level. So paintings come at there are 5 levels. Paintings come at level 5 and at level 3, and obviously, if you donate level 5, you also get level 3. Um, so level 5 here is $500 or more, and then if you want the frames that I have, and or you want me to get another frame, then I would ask that it be up 550 or more, because frames for these can be rather expensive. Anyways, without further ado, all first two I'm going to show you of these 16 by 20s are two I've personally made. So you'll hear me kind of talking as I share them with you. So our first one we have here is I tried to draw the different parts of the world. And now you'll see there's these purple dots. And you'll ask, well, why are there so many little purple dots? And how did you figure out where to put them? Well, so I counted up purple dots to 65, sorry. And 65 because there's 65 million people worldwide that live with epilepsy. So now over in North America, I have 4, if you can see, because in the US alone, there are 3.4 million people roughly that live with epilepsy. And then I wanted to try to get all my biggest bodies of land. And so 80% of people with epilepsy live in developing countries. Hence why you see a lot down here in Africa. Hence why you see a lot over here. And why you see a good deal over in here. Okay? Anyways, so those are those. And then there's that it occurs more in very often in Hispanics too, which is why you'll see this and this. And then after that, I basically went and I did it based on sizes of places, and so I wanted to make sure I got one up in Greenland. I wanted to make sure Japan, being a big country and a little spot, got a couple on it. And we had to include Australia getting a couple. So anyways, it adds up, as I said, to 65 little purple dots around the world. So that's one painting I personally have made. The other one I personally have made, large, 16 by 20, that ties to epilepsy, is this one here. It says Epilepsy Worldwide. So we have 3.4 million cases in the U.S. It occurred, and then down in South America, I wrote, it occurs more in Hispanics than other folks. And then up top, we wrote, a third of the people with epilepsy are also depressed. And then over in Europe, we wrote there's 65 million cases worldwide. Down in Africa, we wrote 75% in developing countries don't get the treatment they need. And then over in Asia, I wrote 80% of people with epilepsy live in developing countries. And then down here in Australia, we wrote a quarter of all new cases are in kids. So these are my two ones I've done personally, 16 by 20s that relate to epilepsy. I have a lot of the smaller size. So next I'm going to show you some of my other ones I've done that are 16 by 20s. So here you have a sunrise or a sunset, depending upon how you look at it. Here we have a winter glow, in a nighttime winter glow in a forest. Here we have an eagle flying over some of the buildings of Philadelphia. And here was my attempt a few years ago at trying to do a cornucopia. And then next we have one of the Eiffel Tower, again 16 by 20. Pretty self-explanatory there. Then we have at sunset, at dusk, seeing the feel in the mountains. And then we have one I did a while ago, where you're kind of looking down a road at what lies ahead, with the trees getting bare. None of us knows what lies ahead. And then we have an elephant, kind of, all joyful and stuff. So that's our next one up. Oops. And now we have 4 more large ones. So this is the first one. You can kind of see the sun going down in between the big wave over the mountains. And then this one up here is one of my personal favorites. It's a sunset over what I interpret as Niagara Falls. And then the sun reflecting onto the water. I personally love that one. And I like this one as well. Again, with the sunset, and then with the little parts of this one was done a little bit ago, but I like it. With the little details of the little trees there, if you look. So you can really make out those trees in this one. So anyways, that's a sunset. And then this is one I have that's like a wintry theme in walking through a city at nighttime. And now this next set you're going to see are of paintings that would be at the $300 level. The $200 level. So if you want one of these, it would be $200, and then for the frame for these, it would only be in the realm of $225. However, if you were to give in between $200 and $300, I would $225 and $300, I would automatically add the frame in. So this is at the 3rd level. With this, you would get the thank you note, you would get the poem, and you would get one of these. So these are more personalized, so these will take a little more explaining. And I'm going to do them in different sizes. Our first set of 3 is 11 by 14, and these guys are flat. And so this is the first one. They say a seizure is like a storm in the brain. So we drew like an electrical storm, a storm going on in the brain. Then around it are things that can cause seizures. And next up is this one here. I drew some things, in the cold weather that I would link to epilepsy. So we have the purple pie, and then we have one mug with the epilepsy purple ribbon, and the other one in that little space I tried to fit a brain. And then up here, this one, if you took this one, this would come with the frame, because the frame is part of what makes this one really cool. So this is, it's snowing outside with a purple brain. But now let's focus on these other parts. So we have green and red. Green and red, that corner is Christmas. Then we have white and blue, that corner's Hanukkah. And now this corner over here, we have pink, purple, and green, which are the colors of Kwanzaa. And then I was like, okay, so what does that leave me with? Well, then I did a gray in the top corner for those who don't celebrate one of those three. So this one is more about what's around it. So you would get the frame on this one no matter where you fall on the on this donation line. So then next up, as I said, these were our three biggest. Next up in size, we have our 9x11s. And for these, or not the right size, anyways, these guys are our 9x12s, sorry. So this one is just what the outside of my apartment looks like. I am those bottom two windows. And yes, so that's just something I did a little bit ago. And then we have this one here. Again, this is another 9x12 flat one. I focused here thinking of epilepsy. You can read it however you want. I read it as epilepsy gives us challenges, but it's an uphill battle. I called it A Life with Epilepsy. 1 in 26 is how many people will live with epilepsy at some point in their lifetime. A third of people with epilepsy will be depressed. And then 6 out of 10 have an unknown cause. So that's that one there. And then the rest of them are going to be 8x10s, which is the smallest distance. However, all these other ones you will see are ones that have the canvas stretch around the outside. The first ones you saw were all flat canvases. So we're going to start up here. This one is I did this a little bit ago, but this is one I still like myself. It talks about ways that epilepsy, in a good way, mainly that I've used the different parts of my brain that relate to epilepsy since surgery, my brain surgery back in 2013. So I call it Epilepsy in My Life. Back in the occipital lobe, the yellow one, which is like where vision is, I say I see support around me. In my parietal lobe, I talk about workout videos tied to epilepsy statistics. That's something I do now. And then in my frontal lobe, I talk about how I pause less than I used to while talking. And then a lot of people with epilepsy, myself included, can struggle with is remembering names. So in the temporal lobe, which is what deals with that, I wrote, "What's your name again?" So anyways, that was one of them that I did, 8x10. Then this was another really cool one I've done. So it says bounce back from seizures, and it's like a battery recharging. And then we have this one down here, where in the center I did a triangle because I wanted the numbers to, like a pyramid, set it up like a pyramid, and then have the numbers as the levels go up get lower and lower. So we started with 3.4 million That's the number of cases in the U.S., roughly. And then the next tier up, we had 60%. That's the amount of people that have an unknown cause. Then we have 33%. That's the amount of people that also live with depression. Then we have 1 in 10. That's the number of people that at some point in their lifetime will have a seizure. Then we have 1 in 26. That's the number of people that will live with epilepsy at some point in their lifetime. And then up at the top, there's you. Everybody's their own different person. Doctors always think, well, he has this and this and this, so this medicine will work and this surgery will work, but not all the time. Everybody seems to be like snowflakes. We're all different. So the next 3 you're going to see are a set I created. Somebody else has already claimed spring. So right now we just have fall, winter, summer. I did these a little bit ago. So in each one you'll see purple tied in. Here in fall, we have purple in the grapes, in the cornucopia. And then if you count the leaves, we have 10, because 1 in 10 will live with a seizure at some point in their lifetime. Okay, so next up we have winter. So kind of envision you're looking out your window, and I tried to tie some winter things in. So we have our robin, we have our blue jay, the purple here is in the flowers, the deer is going over to eat, and we have a snowman. And then down here, I did purple sun. You can view it as sunrise or sunset. If you want to get technical, it would be a sunrise, because the place I based it on that has that 8 marking is Wildwood Crest, New Jersey, and the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, so it rises over the ocean and sets over the bay, but this can be interpreted any way you want. So anyways, these are the paintings. These and all these I showed you over here. So we already have 2 people who have donated to this level. I would love to get more people to donate here and more people to donate here. Anything is greatly appreciated, 100% tax deductible, and I am more than willing to create something for you if you give me a rough idea. I have done that for someone else before, so if that's the case, let me know what design you're roughly looking for and what size, and we'll go. And then, do you want a frame? And we'll go from there. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Bye.